were born sharp. When you came into this world, you were a blade, full of edge, full of purpose, full of untapped strength. You were meant to cut through doubt, carve your name into destiny, slice through every limitation that tried to bind you. But somewhere along the way, you stopped sharpening. You started sitting still. You began letting life pile dust on your potential, letting fear drip corrosion onto your dreams. And now you feel dull, like you're holding the idea of greatness, but not the reality. You feel like a rusting blade. But let me tell you something you need to hear. The edge is still there. The steel is still inside you. The fire that forged you never went out. It just got buried under comfort. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're just unsharpened. And that can be changed. See, the world has a way of turning weapons into ornaments. You had ambition, they called it arrogance. You had vision, they called it unrealistic. You had hunger, they told you to settle down. And every time you listened, a little more rust spread. But that blade inside you, it remembers. It remembers the version of you that didn't second guess. It remembers the fighter, the one who dreamed loud, the one who wasn't afraid to swing wildly because you believed there was something worth cutting through. And I came here to remind you, that version of you isn't gone. It's just buried under layers of silence, shame, and small living. But if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to feel the friction again, you can sharpen that blade. You can rise again. And this time, not to prove something to the world, but to reclaim who you were before the world made you doubt it. You think sharpening is glamorous? It's not. It's messy. It's painful. It's a lonely grind. Because when steel meets stone, it screams. When the edge returns, it bleeds. But without that process, you stay stuck as decoration, shiny in pictures, dull in purpose. You were not born to hang on the wall. You were born to fight. Not with violence, but with vision, with excellence, with grit, with purpose so sharp that the world flinches when you move. But here's the truth most don't want to admit. Sharpening doesn't happen once. It's daily. It's deliberate. It's a choice. And the moment you stop, you begin to rust again. Because life isn't neutral. It's either sharpening you or corroding you. You don't get to stay still. You're either rising or decaying. So what's it going to be? You're going to keep talking about who you used to be, keep making excuses for why you're not there anymore, keep blaming the rain, the grind, the critics, the fear, or are you going to pick up the stone and start sharpening again? Because the world needs your edge, it needs your voice, it needs your purpose, slicing through the noise, the lies, the mediocrity, not tomorrow. Now you don't need more time. You need more truth. You don't need permission. You need precision. You don't need a miracle. You need to move. Every hero you admire, they sharpened in the dark. They did the reps no one saw. They bled in silence so they could lead in strength. And now it's your turn. Sharpen yourself. Sharpen your habits. Sharpen your thinking. Sharpen your standard. Sharpen your circle. If they don't sharpen you, they're dulling you. Because the battlefield of life doesn't care how good you could have been. It only respects the blade that stayed ready, the one that refused to rust, the one that cut through the noise and made impact anyway. You want to be great? Then be sharp. You want to lead? Then bleed for it. You want legacy? Then put your life to the grindstone. No more blaming, no more waiting, no more talking about what you'll do one day. That edge you were born with, it's still yours. But only if you're willing to feel the fire again. So rise up, face the grind, sharpen the blade, and cut through everything that ever told you to be less than what you are. Because the world doesn't need another dull soul pretending to shine. It needs your edge.